Draw on the primal power of elemental magic to take down your opponents in style. From giant fireballs to mind control, the latest cards from Magic the Gathering offer countless paths to victory. Find your favourites and join the fight. Hello, this is Elspeth of the Planeswalker Pantheon, bringing you today a boost box opening of Core Set 2020. This is the newest core set, and you know what, let's just jump into it. Just had pre-release just the past weekend. I was managed to actually get a box of the new set, and you know, I just can't get into it. I can't wait to draft it. As always, I'll go through the commons slowly enough so you can read them, and then I'll read out uncommons and rares as they come through. First uncommon is Warden of Evos Isle. So for 2 and a blue, you get a creature Bird Wizard. So 2/2 creature with flying. Creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast. Second uncommon is Cryptic Caves. It's a land you can tap to add a colours, or you can pay 1, tap and sacrifice it. Draw a card, can activate this ability to control 5 or more lands. Goblin Ringleader. So for 3 and a red, you get a 2/2 creature Goblin with haste. When Goblin Ringleader enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all Goblin cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And our rare is Glinthorn Buccaneer. So for 1 and 2 red, you get a creature Minotaur Pirate. So 2/4, it has haste. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent. And for 1 and a red, discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. I actually died to this during pre-release in Two-Headed Giant, of all things, because it's each opponent. And we've got a foil. So in this set, they've actually increased the rate of foils. I don't know the exact ratios, but they have. So our foil is actually an uncommon. It's Master Splicer. So for 3 and a white, you get a creature Human Artificer. It's a 1/1. When Master Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 Golem artifact creature token. Golems you control get +1/+1. And I love how these new tokens look. They kind of remind me of like Star City Games style tokens. Our first uncommon is Blood for Bones. So for 3 and a black, you get a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. Return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return another creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Overgrowth Elemental. So for 2 and a green, you get a creature elemental. It's a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target elemental you control. Whenever another creature you control dies, gain 1 life. If that creature was an elemental, put a +1/+1 counter on Overgrowth Elemental. Our third uncommon is Gauntlets of Light. So for 2 and a white, you get an enchantment aura. You enchant a creature. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2, and it assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Enchanted creature has 2 and a white. Untap this creature. And our rare is Steel Overseer. So this is actually one of the really good reprints from the set. If you play Modern Affinity, you are very familiar with this card. So for 2 mana, you get an artifact creature Construct. It's a 1/1. Tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control. But I'm just so in love with these new tokens that they've done. In my first pre-release, I actually went 4 and actually came first. It was the first time of me knocking out a pre-release of the 4 record, so I was really happy with that. Happy to see Murder back at common where it should be. I mean, if we can't get Doomblade, we might as well get Murder. First uncommon is an Uncaged Fury, so for 2 and a red, you get an instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains double strike until end of turn. Got Master Splicer. Blood-Soaked Altar, so for 4 and 2 black, it's an artifact, it's a black artifact. Tap and pay 2 life, discard a card, and sacrifice a creature. Create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Activate this ability at only any time you could cast a sorcery. And our rare is Icon of Ancestry, so for 3 mana, you get an artifact. As Icon of Ancestry enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. 3 in tap, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card of the chosen type from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And a foily Mind Rot. First uncommon is a Chandra Novice Pyromancer. She's the only uncommon Planeswalker for this set. So for 3 and a red, you get a Legendary Planeswalker Chandra. She starts with 5 loyalty, +1. Elementals you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. -1 adds 2 red mana, and -2 Chandra deals 2 damage to any target. Eternal Isolation, I think this will see play in standard. So for 1 and white, you get a sorcery. Put target creature with power 4 or greater onto the bottom of its owner's library. So there's a way to actually deal with the gods. Now, Thought Distortion, so for 4 and 2 red, you get a sorcery. This spell can't be countered. Target opponent reveals their hand. Exile all non-creature, non-land cards from that player's hand and graveyard. And our rare is Legion's End. So for 2 and a black, you get a sorcery. Exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name. Then that player reveals their hand and exiles all cards with that name from their hand and graveyard. First uncommon is a Wolf Rider's Saddle. So for 3 and a green, you get an artifact equipment. When Wolf Rider's Saddle enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Then attach a Wolf Rider's Saddle to it. Creature gets +1/+1 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and you can equip it for 3. Pattern Matcher, so for 4 mana, you get an artifact creature Golem. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Cerulean Drake, so they've actually brought back protection, actual protection for this set, as a deciduous mechanic. So for 1 blue, you get a creature Drake with it's a 1/1 flying with protection from red. Sacrifice Cerulean Drake, can counter target spell that targets you. And our rare is Voracious Hydra. So for X and 2 green, you get a creature Hydra. It's a 0/1 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, with X +1/+1 counters on it. When the Hydra enters the battlefield, you choose 1, double the number of counters, or it fights target creature you don't control. First uncommon is Empyrean Eagle. So for 1, a blue and a white, you get a creature bird spirit. It's a 2/3 of flying. All other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. So it's a Flyer Lord. Sky Knight Vanguard. So for red and a white, you get a 1/2 creature human knight with flying. When it attacks, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking. Kind of reminiscent of Brimaz, Leonin Warleader, and other similar cards. And Bahula. So for 2 red, you get a creature goblin. So creature goblin, it's a 2/2 with 1 sacrifice Ember Hall. It deals 2 damage to any target. And our rare is Night Pack Ambusher. So for 2 and 2 green, you get a creature wolf with flash. It's a 4/4. Other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. I kind of like this new Pacifism art. I know it's not the classic art that we're so used to, but it's nice every now and then to see fresh new artwork. Well, Pegasus. So for 1 mana, you get a creature Pegasus. It's a 2/1 with flying, and it can't attack or block alone. Disfigure. So for a single black, you get an instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And a third uncommon is Devout Decree. So for 1 and a white, you get a sorcery. Exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red, scry 1. And our rare is Tail's End. So for 1 and a blue, you get an instant. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. I've got a Bloodfell Caves. Yeah, so basically, the basic land slot can be replaced by one of the game lands, like the common game lands originally from Karn's block. So when you go to draft this set, just make sure that your lands is before taking it out, because the lands do get drafted. First uncommon is a Pulse of Marasa. So for 2 and a green, you get an instant. Return target creature or land card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. Second uncommon is a Manifold Key. So for 1 mana, you get an artifact. Pay 1 and tap it to untap another target artifact. Or for 3 and tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Might of the Masses. So for a single green, you get an instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. And our rare is Loxodon Life Chant. So for 5 and a white, you get a creature Elephant Cleric. It's a 4/6. When it enters the battlefield, you may have your life total become the total toughness of creatures you control. For 5 and a white, Loxodon Life Chanter gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is your life total. I think it's really interesting that they're putting those dual lands in that basic land slot, rather than actually having it take place of a common. First uncommon is Portal of Sanctuary. So for 2 and a blue, you get an artifact. 1 and tap, return target creature you control and each aura attached to it to their owner's hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. Gravedigger. So for 3 and a black, you get a creature zombie. It's a 2/2. When Gravedigger enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yarok's Wave Crasher. So for 3 and a blue, you get a creature elemental. It's a 4/4. When enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. And our rare is Marauding Raptor. So for 1 and a red, you get a creature dinosaur. It's a 2/3. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Marauding Raptor deals 2 damage to it. If a dinosaur is damaged this way, Marauding Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. That's really good. That'll be really good with the dinosaur from Ixalan that draws you a card. I know the one I'm thinking of. I'm just drawing a utter mental blank on what card it is, but I know that'll be a good combination in the 3 months that we still have that block. First uncommon is a Goblin Ogre Siegebreaker. So for 2, a black and a red, get a creature Ogre Berserker. It's a 4/3. And for 2, a black and a red, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Risen Reef, I think this is going to be an all-star in the upcoming standard. So for 1, a green and a blue, you get a 1/1 creature elemental. Whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card into the battlefield, put it into your hand. And our third uncommon is Mask of Immolation. So for 1 Radiant Artifact Equipment, when Mask of Immolation enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token, then attach the Mask of Immolation to it. Equipped creature has sacrifices creature, deals 1 damage to any target, and you can equip it for 2. So Mortarpod's back, basically. And our rare is Shed Summon. So for 3 and 2 green, you get an instant. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. And with a 4 Moorland Inquisitor. First uncommon is Fry. So for 1 Radiant instant, this spell can't be countered. Fry deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker that's white or blue. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. So for 1 and double black, you go creature vampire rogue with it's a 2/3 flying. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Season of Growth. So for 1 green, you get an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. And we've got Temple of Silence, so they've reprinted all this, well, half of the Scry lands, actually. So Temple of Silence is a land, it enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 1, and you can tap to add a white or black. Howling Giant, so for 5 and 2 green, you go Creature Giant Druid. It's a 5/5 with reach. When it enters the battlefield, you create two 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. Renowned Weaponsmith, so for 1 and a blue, you go Creature Human Artificer. It's a 1/3. Tap it to add 2 colors. Spend this mana to only cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. And for blue, you can tap it, search your library for a card named Heartpiercer Bow or Vial of Dragonfire. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Scuttlemutt, so for 3 mana, you get an artifact creature Scarecrow. It's a 2/2. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color, or tap it to become for target creature to become the color or colors of your choice until end of turn. And our first mythic is Cavalier of Dawn. So for 2 and triple white, you get a creature elemental knight with vigilance. It's a 4/6, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its control creates a 3/3 color Golem artifact creature token. And when the Cavalier of Dawn dies, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. And the Ajani's Pridemate token. We finally did it. Ajani's Pridemate's been printed that many times, they finally made a token. First uncommon is a Brianhorn Cutthroat. So for 1 no blue, you get a creature, Merfolk Pirate. It's a 2/1 with Flash. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Brianborn Cutthroat. Loaming Shaman. So for 2 and a green, you get a creature, Centaur Shaman. It's a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, target player shuffles any number of target cards from their graveyard into their library. Salvage of Ruin. So for 3 mana, again, Artifact Creature Construct. It's a 2/1. Sacrifice Salvage of Ruin. Choose target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. And our rare is an Embodiment of Agony. So for 1 and 2 black, you get a creature demon. It's a 0/0 with flying and death touch. When it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. So this is the one that has the weird ruling on it. So 2 and a black and 1 in double black are actually considered different mana costs. And our foil rare for the box is a foil Leyline of the Void. I need these. I've been building Legacy Dredge for a while, and aside from the Lion's Eye Diamonds, this has been the most expensive card. Holy wow. So, Leyline of the Void, it's 2 and 2 black. It's an enchantment. If Leyline of the Void is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Sorry, I'm just shocked. It's both a card that I need, and it's the foil rare for the box. It just knocked me right over. Wow. And a Trample. Sorry, that just caught me really off guard. Sorry, just wow. That's 2 of 4 that I need. I'm already halfway to my play set. And I might be able to trade for others. I just hope I don't have to spend money on it. Because I've already got a place that I believe of Leyline of Sanctity. Some Scrounger. So for 3 and 2 black, you get a creature, Orc Warrior. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target opponent or planeswalker equal to the number of creatures you control. Sometimes I've just ended games with this. Lightning Stormkin. So for a blue and a red, you get a creature, Elemental Wizard. It's a 2/2 with flying and haste. Corpse Knight. So for white and a black, you get a creature, Zombie Knight. It's a 2/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. How many of you guys have went to the pre-release and got the 2/3 misprint? I actually did 3 events out of 6. Actually, out of 8. And I got 2 misprints, which I'm keeping just for prosperity's sake. And our rare is Seraphia Sky's Blade. So for 4 and triple white, you get a legendary creature, Angel. It's a 7/7. You may pay white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay the spell's mana cost. It's got flying and lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible. I actually have managed to cast it for the alternate cost in Sealed. It's absolutely possible. Sorry, I'm still kind of geeking out over that. Leyline of the Void. I was not expecting that at all. I mean, not that you expect the best rare in the set to be your foil ever, but it just knocked me out of the park of how quickly that came. Normally it takes me a little while for me to get to my foil rare in the box. First uncommon is Fencing Ace. So for 1 white, you get a creature, Human Soldier. It's a 1/1 with double strike. Overgrowth Elemental. Thought Distortion, and our rare is Leyline of Sanctity. Wow, this is a good box. So for 2 and 2 whites, it's an enchantment. I won't read the official Leyline text, but it gives you hexproof if it's in play. I'm definitely going to have some Leylines of Sanctity to trade after this. I had some already for Modern because I play Solstices, and of course, you know, white being the main colour for that. You'll always have your playset of Leyline of Sanctity available. And I've got some for trade now, so hopefully I'll be able to flip some of those Leylines of Sanctity for Leylines of the Void if I don't finish up my playset. So two of the best Leylines in the box. One being a foil. I can't wait to see what that price ends up looking like. First uncommon is Loaming Shaman. Second uncommon is Rapacious Dragon. So for 4 and a red, you get a creature dragon it's a 3/3 flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you create 2 treasure tokens. Our third uncommon is Apostle of Purifying Light. So for 1 and a white, you get a creature human cleric. It's a 2/1 with protection from black. You can pay 2 to exile a target card from the graveyard. And our rare is Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. So for 4 and triple red, you get a legendary creature dragon. Whenever Drakuseth, Maw of Flames attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. This has been a good box. I'm not even halfway through it. Oh, I could just die happy because, you know, Leylines are always good. Especially the black and white ones. Because, I'm sorry, I was not going to pay the ridiculous price that Leyline of the Void was commanding before this reprint. I think we're talking like $40-50 Australian. First uncommon is Colossus Hammer. So for a single mana, get an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying, and you can equip it for 8. Dragon Mage. So for 5 and 2 red, you get a creature Dragon Wizard. It's a 5/5 with flying. Whenever Dragon Mage deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand and then draws 7 cards. Tombbound Lich. So for 1, a blue and a black, you get a creature Zombie Wizard. It's a 1/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink. When enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. And our rare is Drawn from Dreams. This art's really pretty. So for 2 and 2 blue, it's a sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's sorcery, speed, dig through time without the delve. And a foil Cloudkin Seer. Disfigure is our first uncommon. Imperial Eagle is our second uncommon. Hardcover, so a single blue, you get an enchantment aura, enchant creature, enchanted creature gets +0/+2 and has tap, draw a card, then discard a card. And our rare is Dungeon Geist, so for 2 and 2 blue, it's a creature, spirit, it's a 3/3 with flying. When enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature does not untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control Dungeon Geists. So it just locks something down for a long time. And the cool trick is you flicker it, and then you can change the targets to something that maybe become more relevant, and it just locks things down for a while. Get some Deadeye Navigator work in there, and just lock down relevant threats. First uncommon is Herald of the Sun, so for 4 and 2 white, you get a creature Angel. It's a 4/4 with flying. And for 3 and a white, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature with flying. Barkhide Troll, so for 2 green, you get a creature Troll. It's a 2/2. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it, and pay 1, remove a counter from it, and it gains hexproof until end of turn. Apostle of Purifying Light, and our rare is Temple of Epiphany. So this is the blue-red Scryland, which I won't read out. because it gets tiring after a while reading the exact same texts over and over. There's very much an elemental theme in the set between blue, red, and green. Life gain in black and white. Blue, red spells, that's a nice classic archetype. Blue, white fires is very legitimate. Herald of the Sun is our first uncommon. Yarrick's Wave Crasher is our second uncommon. Third uncommon is Manifold Key. And we've got Kethis, the Hidden Hand, so it's our other mythic. So for a white, a black, and a green, you get a legendary creature, Elf Advisor. It's a 3/4. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard until end of turn. Each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. Cool. Cool. Anyways, how was everyone else's pre-release? Mine was great. I always enjoyed pre-release. I've been playing this game for years, and pre-release, despite how sort of ingrained I get with the game, yeah, I might not play tournaments all that often outside of my local game store, but pre-release just always still feels magical to me. I don't know what it is exactly about it. Captivating Gaia, so for 4 and 2 blue, you get a sorcery. You return up to 3 target creatures to their owner's hands. Risen Reef. Dragon Mage, and our rare is another temple. It's a Temple of Melody. I think we've hit 3 of the 5. And we've got an Evolving Wilds. Okay, so that's interesting. So your land spot, just based on what I've observed, can either be a basic, one of the game lands, or an Evolving Wilds. Okay, so really be careful when you're opening up your packs whenever you're drafting. Don't just jump straight to it. I was actually expecting it to be a foil, which kind of confused me a little bit. First uncommon is Blight Beetle, so for 1 a black hit a creature insect, it has protection from green, it's a 1/1. Creatures your opponent's control can't have +1/+1 counters put on them. Second uncommon is an Ironroot Warlord, so for 1 a green and a white, it's a creature Treefolk Soldier, it's a star 5. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control, and for 3 a green and a white, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Gauntlet of Light is our third uncommon, and our rare is Flood of Tears. So for 4 and 2 blue, you get a sorcery. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If you return 4 or more non-token permanents you control this way, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. We've got a foil Wave Crasher. That's really interesting just to observe that sort of switch up that they've done. I wonder what that means. Is that something they're going to be doing for future sets? Have a rare land, a common comes into play, tap land, and maybe Evolving Wilds? Is that just going to be a thing that happens from now on? First uncommon is Unchained Berserker, so for 1 no red, you get a creature human berserker. It's a 1/1 with protection from white. Unchained Berserker gets +2/+0 as long as it's attacking. Retributive 1, so for 3 mana, get an artifact, 3 and tap it, it deals 1 damage to any target. When Retributive Wand is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to any target. Yarrick's Fenlurker, so for 2 black, hit a creature horror, it's a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hands, and for 2 and a black, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And we've got Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, so this is the second of the 3 Chandras that are in the set. So we've got the uncommon and the rare. I know I opened the mythic in my pre-release, so maybe we could get lucky with this box. So for 1 and 2 red, you get a legendary Planeswalker Chandra. It has 4 loyalty. For 0, you put a loyalty counter on each red Planeswalker you control. For 0, you create 2/2 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Or -2, you may cast a target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile instead. Oh man, if we hit all 3 Chandras in this box, I'm gonna laugh. I'd find it hilarious if we hit all 3 Chandras in the box. I mean, this box has already given me the foil Leyline of the Void, so I'm not gonna be too I'm not gonna be too grouchy if it doesn't give me everything that I ever want in the world. First uncommon is an air elemental, so for 3 and 2 blue, you get a creature elemental. It's a 4/4 with flying. Wolf Rider's Saddle. Aether Gust, so for 1 and a blue, you get an instant. Choose target spell or permanent that's red or green. Its owner puts it on the top or the bottom of your opponent's of their library. Note this does not counter it, so it can hit things that aren't counterable. And we got Leyline of Anticipation, so we hit 3 of the 5 Leylines, one of which being the black one in foil. So for 2 and 2 blue, it has the Leyline text, and you can make spells as though they had flash. Oh, Foil Forest, that's going in my drafting kit. It's going to be in my drafting kit. I enjoy keeping a little draft kit on hand whenever I go. Just let me just keep a box on hand with everything I could ever need. All it is a fat pack or a bundle box, and you just put all your stuff in there. I've got a set of sleeves, all my foil basics, and another box for tokens. First uncommon is a Lightning Stormkin. Second uncommon is Angel of Vitality. So for 2 and a white, you get a creature angel. It's a 2/2 with flying. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. And Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 or more life. If it was a little bit cheaper, I might consider it for Soul Sisters. Nah. Scampering Scorcher is our third uncommon. So for 3 and a red, you get a creature elemental. It's a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, create two 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. Elementals you control gain haste until end of turn. So you'll be attacking with 3 1/1s with haste, basically. And another mythic, it's the Cavalier of Gales. So for 2 and triple blue, it's a creature elemental knight. It's a 5/5 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When it dies, shuffle it into its owner's library, then scry 2. So I've gotten the two Cavaliers, the legendary, the Abzan legendary, and something else. I think I might be miscounting my mythics. This has been a really good box, so I can't really complain. First uncommon is Flame Sweep, so for 2 and a ready and instant, it deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. This could say standard play because there's the similar spell that deals damage to non-pirates. Sometimes the pirates can be relevant. So it could see a replacement for that. God's Willing, so for a single white, you get an instant. Target creature control gains protection from the colour of your choice until the end of turn, and you scry 1. Barcard Troll, and our rare is the Temple of Mystery. I think we hit all 5. I think. I could be wrong. I think we might have hit all the temples in the one box. Plus 3 ley lines, one of them being foil. Yeah, this is probably like the best box of the best core set box I've ever opened. I mean, it's not that sort of hard stretch, I guess, to beat. First uncommon is Scholar of the Ages, so for 5 and 2 blue, you get a creature human wizard. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Retributive Wand, Blood-Soaked Altar, and our rare is Artemis All-Seeing. So for 3 and triple blue, you get a legendary creature Sphinx. It's a 4/5, it has flying. So for 2 and a blue, you draw 2 cards and discard a card. Whenever Artemis All-Seeing deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. I think that'd be an interesting commander deck to actually put together. Mono blue, maybe sort of heavy control. Just focus on different CMCs. I'd be interested to see what that list will end up looking like. First uncommon is Thrashing Brontodon. So for 2 and 2 green, you get a creature dinosaur. It's a 3/4. For 1 and sacrifice the Brontodon, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Meteor Golem. So for 7 mana, you get an artifact creature golem. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Moldavine Reclamation. So for 3 and a black and a green, you get an enchantment. And whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. And we've got another Voracious Hydra. Nearly done with the box, so I'm actually really surprised with how quick this one actually managed to fly. I don't know what it is. This one just, I mean, time flies when you're having fun, I get that. Gruesome Scrounger. Ancestral Blade. So for 1 white, you get an artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then attach the blade to it. Creature gets +1/+1. Woodland Champion. So for 1 green, you get a creature Elf Scout. It's a 2/2. Whenever 1 or more tokens enters the battlefield under your control, put that many +1/+1 counters on Woodland Champion. And our rare is Planet Cleansing, so nice to see this card back. So for 3 and triple white, you get a sorcery, destroy all non-land permanents. And a foil unsummon. Cool. That's kind of cool, the foil unsummon. First uncommon is a Fry. Second uncommon is a Little Pegasus. Third uncommon is an Overcome. So for 3 and 2 green, you get a sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. And we've got the Temple of Triumph. Now I think we've hit all the Scrylands. So this is the red-white Scryland. And a foil Leyline of Anticipation. Wow, okay, so I think with the change in foil ratios, you get the chance of 2 foil rares. Okay. Just give me 2 of the biggest foil rares in the set. No big deal, I guess. Wow, okay. I mean, if that was Leyline of Sanctity, I would have been laughing my way to the bank. This has by far been the best box, I think. Oops. First uncommon is Veil of Summer. So for a single green, you get an instant. Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and black until end of turn. Diviner's Lockbox. So for 4 mana, get an artifact. For 1 and tap, choose a card name. Then reveal the top card of your library. If that card has the chosen name, sacrifice the lockbox and draw 3 cards. Activate this ability at any time you can cast a sorcery. Noxious Grasp. So for 1 and a black, you get an instant. Destroy target creature or planeswalker that's green or white. You gain 1 life. And we've got the Chandra's Regulator. So for 1 and a red, you get a legendary artifact. Whenever you activate a loyalty ability of a Chandra planeswalker, you may pay 1. If you do copy that ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. 1 and a red, tap, discard a 1 mana, tap, discard a mountain card or a red card, draw a card. And a foil Evolving Wilds. Nice. Oh, wow, this has been by far probably one of the best boxes I've ever seen. First uncommon is Creeping Trailblazer. So for red and a green, you get a creature elemental. It's 2/2. Other elementals you control get +1/+0. And for 2, a red and a green, Creeping Trailblazer gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each elemental you control. Hardcover. Scampering Scorcher. And our rare is Knight of the Ebon Legion. I've seen this already saying experimentation in standard already. So for a single black, it's a creature vampire knight. It's a 1/2. For 2 and a black, Knight of the Ebon Legion gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until the end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 count on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Very good. I actually had to get convinced that it was actually going to be good and limited. I can see it now that I had it sort of talked through with me. Opponents either better have a shock or a murder on turn 3 to deal with it, or have an unsummon. I mean, there's ways and means to work around it, but that's kind of terrifying. But that ability can get out of control real quick. Vampire of the Diamond. So for 1 mana, 1 black, you get a creature vampire. It's a 1/1 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Woodland Champion. Ancestral Blade. And a rare is Grafdigger's Cage. So I'm hitting all the modern staples. Hit two couple of ley lines. Got the Steel Overseer, and I've got a Grafdigger's Cage. So for a single mana, it's an artifact. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I've been trying to cut down the times of my box opening so it's a little bit easier to digest. But I still like to keep the sort of storytelling and, you know, ability to sort of do first packs without those necessarily being the focus of the video. Got another Chandra, Novice Pyromancer. Eternal Isolation, Yarrick's Fenlurker, and an Elvish Reclaimer. So for a single green, you get an creature elf warrior. It's a 1/2. Elvish Reclaimer gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard. So that might be why the Evolving Wilds is in there as well. So for 2 mana, tap and sacrifice a land. Search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. And we've got a full Colossal Hammer. Colossus Hammer. Colossus. It's a Colossus, not a Colossal Hammer. Nearly done. Cryptic Caves. Chandra Spitfire. This is a cool reprint. So for 2 and a red, you get a creature elemental with a 1/3 flying. Whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, Chandra Spitfire gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Spectral Sailor. So for a single blue, you get a creature Spirit Pirate. It's a 1/1 with flash and flying, and you can pay 4 to draw a card. And we got another Leyline of the Void. Wow. That's 3 Leyline of the Voids, including the one from the pre-release. I've nearly got my playset. Wow, I might not even have to trade. That's insane. Wow, 2 Leylines. This box is cash. This box is literally cash. I might not have to trade. That's unbelievable. I just have to trade 1 Leyline of Sanctity to get the last one. Warden of Evos Isle. Howling Giant. Olduvine Reclamation, and Field of the Dead. This has been seeing experimentation as well with Scapeshift. So it's a rare land. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a colorless. Whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So this, as well as Scapeshift, as well as the Gates. You can actually do the Gates deck and have this be the focus. And we've got a full Vial of Dragonfire. And that was the last pack. Thank you very much, guys, for sharing in this amazing, honestly, amazing box. I was not expecting it to be this good. All the information to follow the Planeswalker Pantheon is in the description box. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Where you can find Magic content as much as I can post it. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter. That information is also in the description box. So, and hopefully you guys will share, and subscribe to the channel, where I'll be opening boxes whenever I can. Usually 1 box per set. And hopefully you'll come and join me in the future. Thank you very much, guys. See ya.